Tuition fee will be zero. I even cried, you cannot imagine. I was not ready for that more. I found a program that I fell in love with. So in the end of the studies, you will have 2 diplomas. The graduation prize, that is €1,000. Life of designers is more complicated. Hi, my name is Vlada and I'm an expat living in Italy. I moved here to get my master's degree in Politecnico di Milano. And today I would like to share with you my experience of how I applied to Italian university as a foreigner. So I had 4 main criteria of what is most important for me in the choice of university. I was looking at European universities and number 1 criteria was to find an interesting program, of course. I already studied 6 years, graphic design, and then I worked also as a graphic designer and I felt like I would like to learn something new. Maybe also in design area, but something different from graphic design. And the second criteria was cost of education and scholarships. I was definitely not considering any private universities because it was way higher than my budget, so I was looking in the public universities that have affordable prices for education or have affordable scholarships that can cover all the costs. And the third one was about the language. I really wanted to find a program in English, and also I was not ready to learn another language because I understood that it will make the process longer and much more difficult for me. And the last but not least was the climate for me, because I am from the northern country where winters are very cold and dark, summers are also cold. So I was looking at the southern European countries like Italy or Spain. I was not considering at all Scandinavia, even though I knew the universities there can be good, but the climate, I was not ready for that more. It took me about a month to research the universities and the programs, and in the end I stopped my choice at Politecnico di Milano. Number 1 reason, I found the program that I fell in love with. I went to their website and I saw the manifesto, it's like the vision of their program, and it really resonated with my goals and what I was searching for. So this was for me perfect match. And then also I found out that Politecnico di Milano is the university number 1 in Italy according to World Universities ranking, and also its programs of design got 4th or 5th position in the whole range of universities worldwide. So it's very highly ranked design programs, and this is how I started to gather my documents for application to product service system design. This is the name of my program. It lasts officially 2 years. You can also graduate later because in Italy in general there is no strict time frame that you need absolutely to graduate in 2 years. You can take 1 extra year, for example, for writing your thesis. 2 years is just a minimum amount of time that you need to spend studying this master degree. My program, official price for foreigners, was €3,900, but anyone I know, no one was paying this amount because everyone had some scholarship. Coming from my country, it was easy to receive this scholarship because our income is much lower than the European Union average income. So the main thing is just to collect all the documents, all the right papers, and submit them on time. So what this scholarship gives you, you don't need to pay any tuition fee. Tuition fee will be zero. Also, you will be paid around €4,500 per year in 2 installments, one in December and another is in July, I guess. And apart from that, you will receive daily €5 for food expenses. So you can basically spend them in many little cafeteria, many little restaurants that accept this so-called buoni pasto, or also in some supermarket that will accept them. Also with this scholarship, you have the possibility to get the place in the student residence. And the last nice bonus of DSU is the graduation prize. That is €1,000 if you graduate on time, meaning I think you need to graduate in 2.5 years maximum to complete all your studies. Now let's talk about the documents for this application. First, of course, you will need diploma from your previous bachelor, then the course description, which basically explains in detail what you have studied before, then CV, motivation letter and one recommendation letter, and also your language test, which I did IELTS, but you could do TOEFL or the other options also. And the good thing about IELTS score is that the minimum is quite low. It's actually 6, and in the other universities of other countries, for example, you can have 6.5, 7, and I guess 6 is much easier to achieve. And I think the most important, which plays the most significant role in your acceptance, is your design portfolio. In my case, I spent 2 or 3 months doing it. There is no more exams, it's just your portfolio and all these documents that I just said. You submit them and then you wait. I think I waited 2 or 3 months to receive my approval, and how happy I was, I even cried, you cannot imagine. Because I also applied for only one master degree. I didn't try anything else. I think in better case I should have applied for several different programs. And by the way, for the other programs, for example management engineering or some other more technical majors, the portfolio is not required. So you just apply with all the documents that I mentioned, but without the portfolio. Life of designers is more complicated. Also, I would like to say a few words about Italian language. It's much better if you know a little bit of it in advance, because it's just very hard. You have a lot of bureaucracy, you need to search an apartment, you need to do the documents, all of that, mostly better if you do in Italian. I came here with a knowledge of Spanish, which allowed me to understand a bit of Italian, and I had basic level of Italian, but it was honestly not enough. And my advice to you is to start learning Italian in advance. Like 1 year before, if you will learn Italian at least A1, A2, will be much better than come with complete zero, because life in new country is difficult enough, and then you put on yourself extra pressure because of the language. However, the master degree is completely in English, and if you're just thinking on studying and that's all, yes, you can study just with English, not knowing any Italian. So all your university life basically will be in English language. According to the website of our program, the amount of application per year is 800. Meanwhile, the places available per year is 80, so it's around 10 applicants per place. But in our case, we had 100, and I think 50% of them were foreigners. We were split in 2 tracks, so usually in the lectures we were 50 or 60 people. The nice thing about our program is that they try to select people from not only different nationalities, so different cultural backgrounds, but also from different professional backgrounds. So we had product designers, service, graphic, landscape, interior, fashion designers, all types of designers really. I think there was a guy from literature. So it was very nice to have these diverse people that could contribute very differently in many ways to the projects, because most of the projects we did in teams, and it was a really great thing that everyone came from completely different background. There was also an opportunity to receive a double degree, so in the end of the studies you will have 2 diplomas. One was with the Chinese University Tongji and another with the management engineering program of Politecnico. But this would require you to study minimum 3 years, and of course the workload would be higher. Our lectures were all held in Design Campus in Bovisa. Bovisa is the neighborhood in Milan, which is quite outside neighborhood. It's not in the city center, and I've never had a class in the main building of Politecnico, that is Leonardo building, old one, very beautiful. No, our campus is quite modern and looks differently. In general, Politecnico has many campuses, and not all of them are located inside of the city. Even it has one in Lake Como. And I would like to finish this video sharing with you a little bit of pros and cons of my program. I like that the knowledge we were given was very practical. Even many professors were before or currently working in the field, so they are very related to what they are actually talking about. In St. Petersburg, I had cases that I had to study philosophy when I was studying graphic design, and I think it was completely not on point. And it's better when the knowledge is very life-oriented and can demonstrate you how the real project at your real future job will look like. And I think in this matter, this program did very well. Also was nice that service design as a discipline is somehow like founded here, because there's a lot of projects, even of our students, that became real life projects, and you can make a case study and it was actually made by the student of the same program as you or by the professor of your program, which is also a great motivation for you. And one of the disappointments for me, I think, was this teamwork constantly. Like, I was expecting that maybe it will be more balanced, because in my university was the opposite. In my previous university in St. Petersburg, we had mostly individual work or work in a small teams of 2 people, but here it was always 6 to 10 people in the team, and you need to do the project only all together. The only individual project was your thesis, and it could become sometimes problematic because in our program people from Italy were normally very young. They were like 22, 23 years old, while foreigners were around 30. I guess because Italians have this habit to study master right after the graduation from bachelor. Bachelor here is, by the way, 3 years. And this changes a bit the dynamics in the team, because they didn't work before coming to this program, so they still stay in this university mentality. Meanwhile, we had some experience of work already, and again they were studying all this life in the same university, in Politecnico di Milano, and it's always about teamwork. So they liked a lot to make this 24/7 meetings all the time. We needed to meet together and do all the work together. Meanwhile, in my perception, we could just split the tasks like you are doing in the usual office work between the team. You just split it and you trust to your co-workers, to your classmates, for them to do individually the part of the project, and then you meet just for checking it together and preparing already the presentation. And this was always a bit difficult for me, to be asked constantly to meet and to spend an incredible amount of time meeting and discussing, and I don't know, I felt like we lost a lot of times being in this team mentality constantly, that we need to be in the same place all the time together. That was a bit too much for me, really. So I guess to sum up, it was just lack of independency in some team members and the constant teamwork that requires a lot of your time. Even you don't have sometimes time to actually do the project, you just spend time discussing it with the other team members. Thank you for watching this video. I really hope you liked it. Please like and subscribe. Please let me know in the comments down below which topic is interesting for you, because I plan to make more videos about living in Italy, about being an expat here, and also about working and studying in Milan. So see you later, and ciao!